How's it going, you guys? Ponylover1989 here. It's been a long time since I've read the lost episode of The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, episode 66. If you want me to watch and react to the bootleg Sonic tape from 1995, uploaded and edited by Rodrigo Jogos, comment under the video below so you can see how horrified and traumatized and upset I get about this retake of the lost episode. Anyway, I am gonna be reading another lost episode creepypasta story, and well, hope you enjoyed. The title is called The Death of Grandma. Arthur is a kids' TV show that had been around since the late 90s and is still on to this day. Well, actually, it ended in 2022 as I recall. It's one of the weirdest reality-based shows that sets examples for kids. I grew up with it and still watch it on weekday mornings when I don't have school. The story, though, will explain what has soured me from buying other old episodes on tape. I had written this description of the episode a few years back and left it on my computer, and after much thought, I've decided to release it. The story, May 10th, 2009. I wish this tape had survived long enough for me to get some screenshots from it, but alas, the film tore badly, and during repairs I lost all but 5 minutes of the episode. The tape was bought second-hand about a month ago from my normal second-hand media store, the Corner Store. For those who don't live in central Alberta, it's an old music store that became a second-hand book and movie store some time ago. I have bought almost 100 VHS tapes from him, all of which worked fine, except for this one. I bought the tape because I'm trying to find old episodes of Arthur again, to bring back good memories of my childhood. I love that show and still watch it to this day. As all should know, they still make it, and the new ones are nothing to brag about. The animation looks cheap and rather rushed. Also, the stories are often dull and the focus on mental illness in children, like the one about the kid with Asperger's, feels out of place. Characters have changed. The bullies are now good guys. Francine is even more of a bitch, and DW no longer has moments that make her seem like more than a spoiled brat. The show had been ruined. To escape this mess, I went out to buy some old episodes on tape. Home recordings were of particular interest because I could see some of the old commercials that had aired at the time. I bought about $5 worth of the old tapes, each at 50 cents. They all seemed fine. Each was properly labeled with episode times, recording dates, and timestamps. The one that caught my eye was the title Death of Grandma, recorded on March 5th, 1998, with a lone timestamp. 15 minutes and 24 seconds lost the channel. It was an episode, I didn't know, from an air date that seemed almost too old to be trusted. I noticed the title had been written on a patch of whiteout. I decided against scraping it off. Perhaps it was a recording of something in the people's lives. I decided to watch it first. The beginning was the opening of Arthur. The theme song sounding a bit tinny, probably due to bad recording equipment. The tape had issues which troubled me, mainly the tracking. I just couldn't get it to stop being jumpy and awkward to watch. I eventually gave up, leaving it where there was a line of fuzz across the top, and sat down. There was no opening title for the episode. It showed Elwood City Hospital, something I wasn't very familiar with. The sad music was playing. The only car in the parking lot was the Reed family. It cut to Arthur and DW in the waiting room. Arthur was reading a Scare Your Pants Off book while DW pestered him about the story. The volume was bad, making it hard for me to listen to. I'll do my best to recreate what they were saying, though it's hard to remember. Why won't you play with me, Arthur? I'm bored. Why are we even here? Will you cut that out, DW? I'm trying to read. The parents came down the hall. The mom was crying and the dad looked shocked. DW ran to them, asking why Arthur was ignoring her. The dad told her to sit down. Now, kids, I'm afraid that we won't be seeing Grandma Thora again. She's gone to a better place. He broke into tears. As always, the voice acting was pretty good. Arthur dropped his book in shock and stared. They sat there, unmoving. The tape rippling with static, as the parents crying looped over and over. It cut to them at home. The mom was talking on the phone, looking sad but acting professional. DW was staring at the TV, but it was a static screen. Baby Kate was just sitting there unmoving, along with DW looking at the TV static. The dad was making a wedding cake, his face grim. The doorbell rang and Arthur opened the door. It was Buster. Hey, I heard what happened. You want to go to the sugar bowl and talk? Sure. The shot of the sugar bowl appeared, but there was no music, only wind blowing. I noticed it was fall in the episode as dead leaves were littering the ground. Arthur and Buster were sitting there, not talking, not moving. It reminded me of the still frames that sometimes appeared in the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. Buster spoke, but his mouth was not moving with the words at all. We should go do something fun to cheer ourselves up. Arthur just stared at him, eyes blank. It jumped suddenly to the funeral. Everyone was in black. There was no music, only crying. The casket was pure white, draped in flowers. It showed Arthur, his face wet with tears. Before the imagination sound cue came in, the casket opened and it wasn't Grandma Thora, but instead his mom. Her face was heavily wrinkled. Like in the episode where DW got lost in the mall and was thinking about what life would be like without her. Her teeth were showing and the color was off, being more of a yellow than normal white. Her eyes suddenly opened, but they were not human, but rather black button eyes like on Arthur's stuffed teddy bear, Stanley. He screamed and everyone vanished, leaving him alone in the church. The walls fell in, exposing a red and black streaked sky. DW's laugh could be heard, high and rapid. There was a loud bang and the images stopped. Arthur was sitting there with his face pale. His mom was whispering something to Dad. DW was crying. They were walking in a single file line to the coffin. As Arthur got closer, you could hear the buzzing of flies. He swallowed and wiped his eyes. The coffin lid was open. He looked in, and there was a shot of his face. He looked enraged. There was a flash of white, and the sound was gone for a moment. Suddenly, they were in the car again. The episode ended. As for the commercials, they weren't anything amazing, just some ads for Chick-fil-A and KSPS. The next part did have a title, Recovery. It was written on a plain white background. I could hear DW screaming when Arthur punched her before the episode started up. The family was at home. It seemed like a continuation of the previous part. DW was in her room, solemnly playing with her dolls. The parents were reminiscing over the pictures, and Arthur was in his room. Soon Pal came in and started barking at him, wanting to play. Arthur got up and kicked the puppy. He kept kicking him, the soundtrack now consisting of Pal's yelps before slamming his door shut. Kate started crying. Arthur gritted his teeth, and the scene faded out. The next scene showed that it was nighttime as Arthur crept out of his room with his backpack on his shoulder. He walked past Pal, who whined and drew away, before grabbing his coat and sneaking out. He ran for a full 3 minutes, the streets all in the shadow. There was music, very soft, normal, happy music that we all knew from the show, that ended through when he ran into the graveyard. He stopped at his grandma's grave, staring at it. There was an owl hooting sound, and he started digging, crying out in pain as he did. His bare hands were soon slicked in dark red blood, and he stopped, finding the coffin. He was crying now. The coffin opened up, and Arthur was inside of it. His eyes were closed and his glasses shattered. His family gathered around, staring down and crying. Kate was screaming, and for whatever reason, DW threw Pal into the open grave. Although his body was unmoving, there was a still of him running. The screen went black, and there was a low sound that rose to a high chatter. It was the Tibbles laughing. The Tibble twins. The grave started to spin in an empty space, opening and sucking the void into it. I could hear DW yelling, "Kate did it!" over and over again, mixed with Pal's cries of pain. Stanley appeared, the bear, spiraling down through the blackness. His head was torn off, and the cartoony organs from the episode where Arthur cut his knees started trailing out from his body. There was a series of loud thuds, and it showed Arthur again, sitting there, in the sugar bowl. Buster was unmoving on the floor beside the booth. His eyes were gone. His red sockets started to stream blood as Arthur screamed in rage. There were a few white flashes, and it showed him in prison wearing the black and white clothing the show always used, and his face covered in scars they showed on bad guys sometimes. His last words were louder than their other speech clips. "I killed them all. I beat out Kate's brains and stabbed DW. I killed my dog. My parents ate poison. I killed my friends. I shot Ratburn, but I didn't do it. She did it. Thora did it. She made me kill them." It went to the credits. It was normal, cheery music. Stunned, I went to rewind the tape to see what if I just saw what was real or it was just a bad dream. When I tried to rewind the video, the tape seized up. So I took the tape and opened it up. The film had split an inch from one reel all the way down to a few inches from the other one. Either I had just witnessed one of the worst things to ever be associated with a children's cartoon, or I'm just off my nut. I will never know. I remember it pretty well, though, suggesting it was real. If this was made by some sick fuck as a joke, I'd give him a thumbs up on making something that seems so real, like as if it was actually part of the series. After all, the episode had never cut out like it said on the tape, unless it had on what originally been recorded. But now that I think of it, since the show always covers very real topics, could this have been a real episode they once aired? Once? They did one on DW's bird dying, but never one on abuse or anything. If it really was a real episode, and I almost hope it is, I'm intrigued, and I really want to see it again, to prove to myself I'm not going mad. Well, what do I think? Seriously, the main character doesn't have to has to deal with grief. He should never have gone insane and gone completely insane and kill his family members and all his friends. He would be wind up in jail for all eternity because of the voice in his head telling him, for the grandma's voice in his head telling him to do it. Well, I consider this is a fake episode. This is not real. But Aisha made a retake of the lost episode called Arthur's Family Appreciation: How One Bootleg Killed Off the Video Industry Business. If you want me to watch and react to the retake of this lost episode, comment under the video below. Anyway, that was my creepypasta lost episode of the Lost Arthur episode. Hope you enjoyed listening to it. If you'd like me to read more lost episodes, comment under the video down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more suggestions. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and click on notifications bell for suggestions of what you want me to do or what reaction videos you want me to do next. And anyway, this is Ponylover1989. I'll see you all next time on the next reaction video. Later.